So we're live. I'm just going to make sure by actually looking at the stream myself to make sure we're live. Yeah, it's
Double
looking
check.
like it. It's playing something. That's us. Yeah, that's us. Right, so hi,
That's
this is
us.
Darker Days Radio. We're here playing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. So if you're unaware, Darker Days Radio is a podcast that's been running for 10 plus years that covers World of Darkness and Chronicles of Darkness games, as well as our spin-off show Dark Hammer, which covers the worlds of Warhammer. I'm one of your regular hosts, Chris, and I'm joined by faces you will recognise for other streamed games that we've got that we've been running in the past. So we've got, if it's pointing the right way, yes, Fiona, who has played in things like Warhammer Fantasy. We've got Ben, who's also played in things like Warhammer Fantasy and Iron Kingdoms. And we've got Ian, who has also played in games like Iron Kingdoms. And we're going to be playing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. So we are coming back to something that I guess we're all relatively familiar with. Or actually, for some of us, it's quite new experience. We've not played
Very
it before.
new.
Excellent.
Very new.
Excellent. So yes, we are playing this thing here, and we will be making use of the updates that come from this that you can print out for free from the World of Darkness website. So this is the Player's Companion. If you're interested in this, it adds in 2 new clans, and it has the modifications for the blood potency table, which is, I believe, all the changes from this will be in the new core book coming from printed by Renegade Games now that they're the publisher for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. The other thing I'm going to plug before I carry on is go buy the magazine that I write for called Cyber. Yeah. This is issue 1 rebooted, so we go back to some of the people that were interviewed 3 years ago to look at how the world's changed technology-wise, what they're doing. I now also have an article in there because I didn't write for the first issue. So there is my article on the robot revolution and Industry 4.0. So yeah, there's lots of cool stuff there. Right, with all the plugging of stuff done out the way, we can get into this fucking game. Meanwhile, that's a good point. I've just said fuck. If you look in the chat, there is a content warning. So we're playing Vampire, so you will hear us say fuck, maybe bugger, because it's also going to be a British-based game of Vampire, and anything in between. So,
am I allowed to call people wankers now?
You can call people wankers.
I think the most common word that anyone is going to be saying, since we're playing in Manchester, is bollocks.
Bollocks. Bastards. Twats.
Bastard.
I should put on my terrible northern accent for this, shouldn't I?
You know, we're gonna be. It's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be a pretty gruesome, messy style vampire game. We are not going to be playing preening licks. We are going to be getting down and dirty. Right. So with that introduction kind of out of the way, let's kind of just go around the table, as it were, and just get a little bit about which each of the characters are, because then we're going to explore them a bit more with in-game. So, Fiona, who are you playing?
Alright, yeah, I just have to quickly open the character sheet because I realised my hand I got to open. That would have been fun, wouldn't it? So my name's Fiona. I will be playing Louise Whitaker, who is obviously a vampire, obviously. Clan Ventru, and we've put her as the hotel manager of, is it Hotel Gotham? That's in Manchester?
Yeah, it is Hotel Gotham, yeah.
Yes. Fun fact, I am from Manchester. I have never been, but I'm sure by the end of this game I'll definitely have gone at once.
It's really expensive these days. Yes, 100 King Street is where Hotel Gotham is based. It used to be the Midland Bank before, of course, the Midland Bank became taken over by HSBC, and then that bank, that building, which is a very dominating Art Deco building, is now obviously a hotel, which is also an Art Deco hotel. It's themed around the 1920s internally, with everything and like bellboys and so forth, kind of thing. So. I'm sure it's a perfect place for a very anachronistic vampire. Maybe perhaps the person that owns it, who is likely your sire.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Ben, who are you playing?
I'm playing E. E is a world-famous tattoo artist, and was before they returned, and has since seen a little bit of a decline as they just started putting their mental acuities into the occult. So he is a toreador, and is very well known for doing tattoos of wards and circles.
Okay. And Ian, who are you playing? And
Hi, I'm tonight and for the foreseeable future, I guess, going to be playing Xana, also known as DJ Shiba. And Xana is a member of a new organization that wants to update its PR campaign. So we're not calling ourselves Setites anymore. We're calling ourselves the Ministry, you see, because we're all about your spiritual growth. And so I will help characters and players with their spiritual growth through awesome music, sick beats, and drugs. And so it's going to be a good time.
excellent.
But yeah,
I'm just looking at our stream right now. We're coming through a little bit of lag on. Can everyone hear us at the other end? Fine. I think it's the video side that seems a bit stuttery or a bit slow. I just want to make sure. Like ultimately, as long as you can hear us, that is the most important thing in this, and I just want to make sure that's okay. So mostly someone from the gallery can go, yeah, it sounds good, or you will sound like robots, or something else. I just want to make sure. It's
are
mostly
there people? There's people watching right now.
yeah. There's mostly
Yeah, we are on the stream.
it's mostly a setting on Zoom. I bet Zoom updated, and there's a setting that I should have like put so it's using the right
Probably.
encoder or something. As always. Anyway,
Players are audible, but it sounds a bit buzzy.
bit buzzy. Interesting. I'll have to figure that out and see what's wrong with it. Anyway, so where shall we begin? The year is 2018. It is Manchester. Things have obviously been taking place within the kindred society, within the Night Society of the undead vampires that exist within the shadows of our world. Things have happened like Vienna, the attack on Vienna, which essentially decapitated Clan Tremere and has caused, in essence, a kind of an inversion of their clan Bane. We've had the La Sombra, which have basically migrated and joined the Camarilla. We have also had other things such as the Sabbat seemingly disappearing off the face of the earth for the most part, fighting some war against the elders. And you can mostly hear my cat whining in the background somewhere. Yes, of course, within all of this, Manchester has been a city that has forever, since it's been a city, has always been an anarch city. I guess it has something to do with Manchester as being a relatively new city, at least within Europe. It has been a city of industry, a city of progress, whether we're talking about workers' rights, whether we're talking about women's rights to vote, whether we're talking about scientific discoveries such as the cracking of the atom. Manchester is a haven for those who do not want to follow the old ways. So, with that little bit of introduction and the fact that the Camarilla do not hold sway over the city, the rest of the world we will explore as we get into the game. So we'll start with Ben. So E's typical evening. We'll just say like it's late, just for our sake. It's late August, early September time period in 2018. What is E's evening like as they awaken from their slumber?
So he would, as always, wake up, prep their studio, and their first client is always themselves as they begin to tattoo the wards that they wear as their own security. They take their time to sort of ward their arms and their back, specifically sort of where they can tattoo, using a mirror for the most part, against ghouls and spirits. Um, they update any warning circles, and then they check their messages for any more kind who might have heard through the grapevine of the protections that he offers, because he is unusual in the vampiric circles. They do not like what they are, and as such specialize in a very unique brand of vampirism, shall we say.
Okay.
And also check the calendar to see if they've got any work for the day, which they're successful enough that they probably do. But
So
also loathe it.
so E operates a small tattoo parlor then.
Yep, yep. It's called Haven. It is underneath the nightclub end of Hotel Gotham, as we all built our haven together as one big space. It is pitch black walls illuminated in neon lights and stuff like that. And in the center of this space, there is sort of the plastic sheeting that you might see in like a gangster film or something, where someone is performing surgery because birds are flying around inside. And so to make sure that it's a safe space for tattooing, there's plastic sheeting to form an aseptic environment. But it's full of birds.
Right. Okay. And just trying to think of some other questions to start with that. So you as you said, you have a shared haven, and this tattoo studio which exists in the basement of the hotel. Who is its clientele then?
So E is still known for being a vampire, for being a tattoo artist. So their talent, even though it has diminished as they have lost their humanity a bit, they are still sought out for their tattooing. They carefully updated their sort of resume from the artist they used to be to a more modern branding, for they have a very good mask in that regard. So they're sought out by people. They're very exclusive. They're
Mhm.
very expensive, and getting a Haven tattoo, as they're called, is sort of the equivalent of going to California in our world and getting a tattoo by some of the masters out there and stuff like that. So E works on maybe one person a day, but that pays them the rent on this place for a month. It's that sort of price. And then the rest of the time they put into their more regular clients of the kind, because they're the ones that E feeds from.
Cool. Okay, that's good. Right. So we have this exclusive tattoo studio which has whoever can afford to go to it. I guess it's not well advertised. It's only word of mouth
It's
that
actively not advertised.
yes. Um, of course, given that your current condition, the fact that you are a vampire makes life a lot more difficult. So again, you want to operate under the radar.
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay, so you would, so you wake up from your slumber. You've got, I guess, where is the haven for your coterie? Is it in the basement of the hotel, somewhere that's kind of off limits to the rest of the staff?
I believe it's specifically through my tattoo parlor, because my tattoo parlor acts as the wards that protect our
Yeah.
haven from other people. So I believe that way it's completely off limits to the staff, because it's not actually the the hotel's space anymore. It's mine.
Yeah.
So that protects us from the staff in every regard. Um,
Cool. Okay. Good. And as you said, you've said what your kind of routine is. So as you do that, I think the simplest thing to do is roll a d10 and divide it by 2, and we find out how hungry you are.
Oh gosh.
That's a 1.
That's a
I gotta find
1.
my dice.
Oh,
I gotta find my
what?
dice now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yes, you
Yeah.
are. You have a hunger. Then your hunger rating currently right now then is 5 minus 1, so you're at hunger 4. So you are fairly ravenous right now.
Oh god.
You've likely used up a lot of vitae from your system within you. More than likely performing your blood magics and other things. Maybe you were having to heal some damage that you had taken, some wounds that you took from previous nights. Whatever it is, for whatever reason, you have a desperate need to slake your thirst upon someone. But we'll get to that, because obviously, as you awaken from your, I mean, it's a strange slumber that vampires have. Then I guess Zana would awaken as well. What's Zana's kind of routine, Ian?
And that's you.
It is me.
It is you.
Sorry.
You awaken from your slumber.
I was pulling up a V5 die roller so I could be prepared for this.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's Xana's morning routine? Well, so Xana wakes up and sort of stretches and rolls around a little bit and immediately puts something smokable in his mouth. Whatever cigarette, blunt, whatever happens to be handy. But he's sitting up and just immediately puts this thing in his mouth and does the angry morning glare at anybody nearby. Even though morning, of course, was several hours ago. But he gets up and spends probably 10-20 minutes being generally assholey. I have a couple of dots in technology, and so he grabs his cell phone and starts scrolling through the media feeds for pictures of his set from last night, or other things that his fanboys may have done. Realize that he'll also look and see if any fanboys made it into the room because they're his feeding stock, and so he wants to make sure that there isn't anybody here who isn't supposed to be this early, and sort of kick them and send them out, and go home, your mom misses you, that sort of thing. And then he probably looks. So E is there. Do we all bunk together, or do we like have our own spaces, or what do we decide?
I figured we'd probably have like side things, but we'd have like a communal space for like necessary interactions because we move together. We are a country in that regard.
So you're gonna know Xana's awake because in the midst of his grabbing a cigarette and surfing on the internet and so forth, he's gonna grab the remote control for his stereo and turn on music. And so there's background music playing basically constantly whenever he's awake because he's always trying to sample different things for his sets. So music comes on soon after he wakes up. And then that's his daily, that's his nightly start. Is to check his evening from the night before and kick anybody out who's not supposed to be there, and then sort of go with the flow, go from there.
Excellent. Okay. And then if you can also roll a d10 and divide it by 2.
This makes me excited.
Come on, come to the hungry side.
Well, we're just going to roll a regular d10 because I don't have any hunger dice right now, so we'll see. 1 d10 is a 4. Divided by 2 is a 2.
Okay, so you're not as hungry then as E, but you're also, relatively hungry. You could definitely have a need to feed upon someone.
I forgot to eat last night. It's not like me.
Great, and then it's Louise, isn't it?
It is Louise.
So again, you will have awoken in your part of the haven. Mostly, it's decorated in a particular manner that kind of gives us some clues to your personality. But what's your your routine as you awaken.
So I have, over the years, as I didn't realise we were all living together, I've definitely separated myself from these two chuckleheads into my own little space at the back, which is very small. If you imagine, if you've ever seen What We Do in the Shadows with Colin Robinson, that is like the bare bones kind of room we're looking at. So it's just like very, very simple, as if almost like a showroom of a prison. Mariana will get up earlier than everyone else, and everything will be very precise. So there'll be like a knife and fork, like maybe a blood orange or something similar, and just stick to a routine. And then she's off out to work before these two have got up, and keeps herself not antisocial, but definitely is like, good morning, and then just move on and just carry on with her day, and just the less time spent with them, the better.
Excellent. Brilliant. Okay, so and yeah, again, roll a d10.
Oh wow, thank you.
It's just me.
It's a 4, so a 2.
A 2. Okay, so that means you're
Same level as Zana, I think.
yeah, your hunger rating then the same as Zana. Yeah. Good. Okay. So with that brief introduction, I guess how would you spend your initial evening? What would you first do? I mean, I guess in E's case, there is a pressing need to feed.
Yep. I don't want to alarm anyone, but last night I had to update the wards, and I'm guessing over time the two of you have come to know that E does not feed on mortals. And in return for warding our sanctuary against intrusion, that something might be due kicked up to them. Or that you find someone who's willing to do so.
Louise is always very aware of this, hence why she gets up early and leaves.
It's once a year, darling.
Got work.
Uh-huh.
Once a year?
Yep.
That's how the claw works? Oh, that's cool.
So it's no, warding. It's how warding works.
Wards are once a year. Oh, okay.
Yeah. The wards last for a year and a day, specifically. But it would explain why I'm on hunger 4.
It really would.
So I don't want to alarm anyone, but I had to do that. So keep it in mind, eh? You'll
spill something on him or something, like rub him off when we were walking past. There was crazy things going on. Or did they just expire? I've never been able to keep track of the whole thing.
They're talking about the wards.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you said you needed to fix them because they like did we stumble through them drunkenly or is it just
No, you brought back you brought back someone's ghoul and they went off. Which
that explains it.
Well, yes, that's why there's that, and she put and he points at an ash pile. No ghouls.
I thought I
Very clear on the rules for that.
it's not like I'm wearing a badge. It says I'm
No shoes, no shirt, no ghouls. That's sort of
Yeah. that's the episode
That's
title
the
right
sign.
there. I had to update them. They went off, and yes, that takes time and it takes resources of my own. He would have been very shifty about ever actually showing you the crafting of the wards, because that takes an entire evening of them doing blood magic for an entire evening per ward. So, go on.
How public have you been with your dietary requirements?
You two will know simply by Dane of necessity. but it is their dark secret that they are a Diablerist. Because-
Game 1 and we already let that out. All right, good.
It's necessary information at this
Yeah,
point. Had I started on Hunger 2 or even 1, we would not be having this conversation on game 1.
Ben, E's mobile phone, which is because obviously vampires have difficulty with touch screens due to their dead flesh. So you've got pretty much mostly a Nokia 3310. Like, you get a text message.
Actually, I have technology too, so I probably have a modern one, but I have those gloves that have the
Or a
little
stylus
things that
or
you-
whatever,
Oh,
yeah.
very
Yeah.
good.
So
Very good.
I just sort of like pull it out. Actually, stylus is a great idea. I probably use stylus and stuff because I draw.
Yeah.
Because before E was a tattooist, they were an artist. That was their big thing.
So you've got a text message that says that at the occult bookshop in the Northern Quarter, called New Aeon Books, it's actually a real bookshop that is called that. There is a book that you've been awaiting, that's been on order, that's finally available.
Great. Everything just happens at once.
Obviously, time-wise, it's like, I'm just looking out the window and thinking about the time now, late September. So it'll be about, you're looking at it being about, at this point, about 8:30, 8:30, almost 8 o'clock actually. But they open specifically when they get particular books in, and they know what people's hours are like.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the wards are updated. I've taken care of that. Xana, no ghouls. It's
No ghouls.
It's just that simple.
Not even my own, right? Like,
that ghoul.
what if
was
I
just-
make them a ghoul earlier in the night? Can I bring them home then?
No, absolutely not.
No ghouls at all.
No ghouls. These are non-specific wards. If you want me to start doing specific wards, we are talking months of study and casting. Okay, like months of
Way too
study.
much work.
You hear the door shut as Louise goes to work.
Yeah.
You owe me, Louise.
So
No, it was my ghoul. I'll get you this time. Come on.
so obviously, Louise, your work, as it were, you're a hotel manager in everything but name, because of course, your role, I guess, is to act as a hotel manager, but on behalf of your sire, who owns the hotel and owns other properties and developments. And that is because you are the first port of call when any visiting kindred to the city, or anyone else, basically any kindred, need to hire a room in the hotel, or perhaps for some particular reason Elysium has been designated to take place in the hotel. Obviously, you don't cater to all the anarchs in the city, because the Anarch Society of Manchester is barely held together by a sort of council of the most influential kindred within the city, and so there are some which you would never let in. They don't fit the place. If they're important enough, you would let them in, but
Of course.
you have standards to maintain.
have
That
very
does
high
mean you do get certain people that basically treat you as if you're a member of the Camarilla, and that's kind of annoying and irksome, because the Camarilla do exist within Manchester. They're a small elite congregation of vampires who, as you know, one of them likes to call themselves the Arbitrator. They don't have the balls yet to go that they've claimed Manchester and say they're prince of the city. So they play off the idea that they're the arbitrator of the city, that if there's any sort of argument or conflict or anything bad going on for the kindred in Manchester, such as mortal hunters or a diablerist of ill repute or something like that, they will
I don't know anything about that.
they will step in to be helpful. So they're trying to do that kind of like oh, we're here for the benefit of everyone else. Of course,
Oh, this.
if you want to be a member of the Camera, you have to prove it because they have retracted. They're no longer treating that all kindred are members of the vampire nation. That concept is dead and buried. They're now a far more selective of who they allow within their little clique, and they are a clique and a small one.
This guy needs to have mail order brides sent to his house every 3 weeks.
Yeah. Of course, one thing that sometimes does happen within the hotel is it's when it's the main hall, the main kind of party room, as it were, is sometimes hired out by, and that's where you really have to make sure about security, and then you have to turn to hiring particular anarchs who scrub up well and can be security and so forth, because one of the most influential cults within the city is, of course, the Church of Cain. And they're influential, they're small, but they're trying to grow, and you find it's all a bit of mumbo-jumbo to you, and they haven't tried to recruit you just yet. So yes, your day-to-day thing is mostly going through the very private email inbox, which covers any kindred wanting to deal with the I say inbox. It wouldn't even be email. It would be dropped off letters, because obviously with the threat of security services who are aware of of vampires existing, electronic messaging is dangerous and is even frowned upon. So you've mostly got a few someone that's mostly dropped off a few requests, and you're looking through the paperwork.
Yeah.
As well as mostly identifying some people that come to the hotel that, with a little bit of blood here, a little bit of powers of, kindred kind of influence, the power of the mind that you have over them. Mm-hmm. You could, extort them, gain some influence upon them, get them to do what you want, find out dirty little secrets. Because after all, this is Hotel Gotham. You've got all the wags and footballers going there. There are people getting laid and getting fucked by people they shouldn't get fucked by, stuff like that.
I had nothing to do with that. We are all about consent in the bar. Thank you very much.
Louise definitely has the pictures of Wayne Rooney with his
I orchestrated the whole thing. Daily Mail on speed dial, friend. That's what I have on the rotary phone. Yeah, I think going through the letters and stuff like that every so often. I like the idea that I do sit myself at the reception desk and tell everyone else to go away whilst I do this, and so people come up, I'm like, yes, and then start going, oh, extra room service, okay, and just sort of weird them out slightly, but they do end up either staying or being charged a little bit more than they were expecting. Extra towels and a bottle of champagne. Good choice, sir. All that sort of. I'm creeping myself out now. But yeah, that's what I'd be doing.
You are the worst, and I love it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Because there are those that are. There are those mortals, there are those even gangs and gangsters and, drug dealers, pushers, whoever, that know of you, know of Zana, and know of E, and the type of and you have some influence over it, because of just depends where you go out, whether you go out hunting in that area of Manchester, or you maintain territory there, or you use these people, like I say, because you get asked by certain said Coronation Street actor, where do I get some blow? And you're like, well, I know.
I can totally help you with that, sir.
So you get in amongst the paperwork of requests for a room, and there aren't many requests, and it's the usual people who are looking for somewhere to discreetly feed after a night out on the town hunting. One of the letters there is that, and it reminds you that actually you'd already agreed as collectively as a group that there's an illegal rave taking place in a abandoned apartment block on the near the outskirts of the Ancoats area of Manchester, and it would be it would be rude not to be present because obviously it's for maintaining your connections with these criminals, with these gangs that are there. Obviously, for Zana's purposes, it's also good because some of these people also, when they're not busy, are really good at handing out leaflets for certain club nights.
Yes.
I also have a regular addiction that I need to be that I need to take care of, and so this sounds like the perfect opportunity for me to explore some of what I need to. So
yeah, so you can that's the information you've got currently. Obviously, you're in this opulent Art Deco hotel. People are coming and going, and you're just looking at the list of people that are staying overnight, as well as making sure certain rooms are kept off the books, ready for the kindred occupants who have reserved those rooms for the night, and of course the day. So what do you want to do? It's really up to you guys where you go from this point on. I'm just kind of laying the groundwork for you.
He is. Oh, go on.
No, go for it.
Oh, he is hunting down that book. He is. He is literally like, okay, I've got this much time between this and this, and has already called the shop and informed them that they'll be there within the hour to get that book. Because E's library, when it comes to blood sorcery, is literally world renowned. Because when it comes to blood sorcery, I have the highest stats, highest skill you can have for it. So that book is getting bought.
I mean, it's always difficult with these books because when a book comes in, you have to do a little bit of work to even ascertain whether it's just not full of bullshit. Because there is very little true mystical knowledge in many books. I mean, you've read the collected works of people like Crowley, like all these
first
people.
Edition.
He was a hack.
He was a hack.
It's gonna be a first edition of How to Stir a Magic Cauldron.
Yeah. So what's E's get up like? What does E look like? How does E move? Like really, just what are they? How does E embody themselves as they head out onto the streets at night, passing all these basically, because of Manchester. If you've never been to Manchester, this for our viewers' sake, Manchester is of course a mix of styles these days. You've got very typical Victorian faux Gothic, kind of faux Baroque on some buildings, designs built in red brick. You've got only just down the road from the hotel there that the characters make the haven is the actual Midland Hotel, which I believe, if I'm right, was the hotel which Adolf Hitler really liked and said, I want that as my headquarters when I take over the UK. Interesting factoid again, I believe the Conservative Party use it as their hotel of choice when they've got their convention at the GMET.
Never seen them in the same room.
No.
Those things shouldn't be related.
We are not making that connection.
Didn't say. No connection.
No connection. But then the other buildings around, of course, there are some ugly concrete blocks, and most of those are being torn down and replaced with gleaming steel and glass. And yeah, Manchester has been modernised rapidly even since I lived there. So it is a mixture of styles. There's trams that go through it, which are in this kind of grey and yellow paint scheme. And then as you're walking through to get there, Ben, you'll be going through Piccadilly Gardens, which was renovated around about 1996. So it was after the IRA bomb, and it's often said in Manchester the IRA kind of did the city a little bit of a favour because of how much they renovated the city facade as a result of that. So. Yeah. You move through there, and as you're heading towards this bookstore, you're passing through what Northern Court is essentially. It was, and it's slowly being gentrified. Unfortunately, is the alternative part of the city. You'll go past notable bars like Night and Day Bar, where upcoming bands play. You'll go past Affleck's Palace, which contains again tattoo studios, alternative clothing, fetish shops. Where you can buy your alchemy gothic jewelry, or you really need to get that whatever kind of pungent incense or some rave clothing, and then I think actually along the way you'll go past the Forbidden Planet store, and then you'll be at New Aeon Books
randomly. Yeah.
It's like that. So
E is in Warpaint. Is basically E is gender non-binary, and would be had they not been sired, would be a woman by now, and part of their ongoing issue is the fact that is something that can now never happen. So E is in full war paint. They look, and they have had a considerable amount of time to become perfect at what they want to look like, because they've had the extended lifetime of never aging to perfect their look. So their head is freshly shaved, their makeup is tasteful but subtle. They look just spectacular, but very much war paint. So they're the sort of person who looks good, but people do not catcall and people do not check out, because the air around E is very much, this is my choice to look like this, and if you catcall me, terrible things will happen to you.
Well,
so
it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that.
Somebody's feeling suicidal tonight?
Apparently!
As you are walking through the Northern Quarter, let's just be honest, some towny type, a little large, a little red in the face, clearly hair shaved off because it was receding anyway. They've already accelerated their nightly plan of getting wasted. They've mostly spent the good part of the day in the local Weatherspoons drinking cheap alcohol. The smell of booze is thick upon their on their breath as they basically get in your face as you're walking trying to walk past them. They're like, "Oh, you fucking weirdo! Don't you know it's not fucking Halloween already, you prick." Now, let's just remind ourselves, what you're at hunger 4.
I am.
Total.
But I don't eat shit.
Yeah. You're definitely gonna know. You've got the beast in the back of your mind. It is slinking around. It is wanting blood.
Darling, I am more woman than you could ever get and more man than you could ever be. Fuck off. Or I swear by all that is unholy, I will castrate you and use the small thing that you hold between your legs to daub your name in a black book. Fuck off.
As you go to walk past them, they reach for your shoulder.
Oh, great. They are literally feeling suicidal. Do they touch me?
They do touch you.
Great. So they're going to take 3 points of aggravated damage.
Really? Just
Yeah.
straight 3 points of aggravated damage.
So they are touching me, which activates my ward, which is just going to piss me off because I've just spent about a couple of hours putting this on. Actually, it's 5 minutes, but
Ruined
still,
it.
you have ruined it. So this is activating my ward, which is on page. This is actually. Oh no, because it's only ghouls. It's only ghouls that this ward affects.
Okay, so you're okay on that.
Scratch that.
But I mean, you are hungry. What's your humanity as well?
5.
Humanity 5.
He has run down the humanity pursuing these fell and foul arts.
Yeah, that's for certain. Let's find where the hell is humanity in this book. I should know it by heart.
So for humanity, because I have a really lovely character sheet that contains all that information.
We wrote that down, right? Is that important?
Yeah.
I've got it.
It's
here.
just that my character sheet is 10 pages long because of all the rituals and stuff that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I downloaded it just to have a quick look. And I was like, ah, no, after 2 pages. I was like, ah. That's
Okay,
not
so
good.
that gives you penalty on interacting with humans in any way that is not intimidation and inhuman subterfuge. So basically, makes your life difficult interacting.
Yeah.
Also, blush of life is pretty much really difficult. So, but I still need you to pass a willpower roll. I want to say difficulty is 2. Because they've pissed you off. They're grabbing for you. They're violating your personal space. They're insulting you, and you're hungry. And as much as you may have opinions on who you feed on, the beast within you, I don't think it really gives a fuck.
Okay, good to know. So I have willpower 5, so I would be rolling 5 dice, 4 of which are now hunger dice.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
exactly.
Nothing bad could happen.
I just went to work, couldn't think anything of it, and now.
So, of those 5 dice, I get a pair of 7s, a 4, a 5, and a 1.
Okay, so you've got 2 successes there.
And the 1 is not on a hunger dice.
That's okay, so long as you get successes and not a critical success symbol on a hunger die, and you haven't made a critical success with other dice, you're fine. So you resist. You turn, and his meaty hand is on your shoulder, and he's like, "I'm not finished fucking talking to you."
I will just pinch the nerve in his hand with my nails, turn and round on him, and my eyes flash red as I activate my Eyes of the Beast, my protein power. And I just go, "You don't touch women," and I will break his little finger.
Excellent. Yeah, just make a pure strength roll.
Okay. Where is my strength? I'm not particularly. Oh, I'm not too bad at this. That's an 8 and a 7.
Yep. You quite happily, bend his fingers the wrong way. He screams in pain and backs away, also quite fearful, given the strange look in your eyes. So there's no roll required for this while it's active. Any sight penalties? Okay, so your eyes just kind of reflect light. Oh no, bonus 2 dice on
they go red.
intimidation. Yeah, that's cool.
My eyes just
he's
go red.
I guess the weirdness of your eyes changing colour is lost upon him as he looks down at his broken fingers and backs away, crying out in pain, and you are able to walk off. I think anyone else walking by will just laugh or snigger or point, because after all, it's a big guy getting his ass handed to him by a smaller, gender non-specific person.
Have a good night, asshole. And I just probably noticing that a piece of my artwork is now on a t-shirt, which I'm just even more angry about.
Get the copyrights for it.
Yep. So the bell in the at the door rings, and you enter New Aeon Books, and there is
Eyes are back to normal. I don't want to be
of course.
messing around with these
There's
people.
a very typically dressed, long, lank hair. It's not very well brushed. Middle-aged man. He's likely got mostly got like some new age music playing. There's a smell of incense. All the books you can imagine that range from everybody's like My First Witchcraft all the way to the again like Golden Order and all the various occult books that you imagine that are typical within pop culture. There's also books on how to recognize signs from angels, or whether you can communicate with your past lives or aliens. It's the
crystal
works.
section.
Oh, there's a
somewhere,
crystal
isn't there?
section, of course. There's a crystal
Yeah, of
section.
course there is.
There's also a little crystal ball on some holder. There's all the various things possible.
Darling, I understand that you have to do this to make ends meet, but good God, this place stinks.
The shop owner looks up and is like, "Oh, hey, you want that book?
Of course I want that.
Don't be fucking smart, right?" Look, and he brings out a book, and it's in brown paper wrapping, and opens it up for you. And it doesn't have. It mostly has in Latin some title. I can't think off the top of my head a particular book, but it's one you've been looking for a while, and it's not quite a first edition, but it's definitely a second edition, so it's most probably accurate.
Most of E's anger will drain away at seeing this, and they will move over and they'll request a pair of gloves before handling it for obvious reasons. But they will begin looking through it and checking it, which I'm sure the person has come to anticipate is standard fare. But in doing so, he is confirming that they've actually got something legitimate, not just for themselves, which if it is legitimate, they will buy it. But if it's not, then they'll know. Part of this sort of the service E will provide for them.
Yeah. And as you're taking the time to look over this, a small, we'll say girl. I say girl, but mostly can't be much older than 25, mostly younger than that. Comes into the shop, dressed, I guess, in again lots of drapey kind of dark clothes, and it's kind of a bit meek, and comes up to the main desk, to the shop owner. She's like, can I leave these flyers here? They're I think some people might like to attend. It's a kind of a self-help group. I'll just leave these here. Is that okay? And the guy's like, yeah, whatever, and he goes back to reading his book, which I think he's mostly reading one of the books out of the Game of Thrones series. He's reading something like that, like right now.
Oh, I know exactly what's going to happen now. I know exactly what's going to happen now. I can't wait for that moment. He will sort of just look over the flyers and see what they're for.
They're for what seems like a little bit of a new agey kind of church. Apparently it proclaims that it can be quite like they're progressive, that they're welcoming to people from all backgrounds, and there's little things in there that seem a little bit odd. So I think you can make a You can make an intelligence and occult roll.
Okay.
Was Kane really all that bad?
Well, anyone that has to say that they are progressive and welcoming probably isn't. Is E's first cons.
Yeah, sadly.
Wow. Okay. 10, 10, 10, 6, 5, 8, 6, 3.
How many of your 10s are on hunger dice?
That
Three.
shop's gonna close down. 3.
3. Oh, okay. So you've got a fun,
Messy critical.
messy critical, and this is where I have to be really creative with how we're going to do a messy critical for you.
Did you like that bookshop?
Yes!
Gone now.
Yes, I did.
Gone now.
Yeah.
You're about to inherit the whole collection.
Yeah.
So
I actually, if
And a
I
criminal
actually have
record.
an idea for this, Chris, if you're wanting
you,
a
I will,
solution.
you. I can basically say at this point you most probably, in effect, black out, but in fact your mind is filled with visions. You're seeing visions of congregations of cultists sacrificing people upon a altar. There is an inverted cross. There are venerations to Cain, to the Dark Mother, to the Creator. There is within the rambling murmurations of the congregation, there is proclamations that they will not be held down by the demiurge, by the false god, and yeah, it's pretty intense. And I think it's quite clear that when you come to, you will be on the floor out back of the shop. In the small kitchenette area,
Yeah.
and that white linoleum floor is spattered red, and the shop owner is dead right next to you. You can now set your hunger back to 0,
Hooray!
and
Oh no, you're off the hook.
and we're going to give you 2 stains on your humanity track. So 2 slashes on your humanity track because you have murdered someone out of. Yeah, you weren't out and out doing it on purpose, but you messy criticaled and you went on a crazy religious occult binge vision quest, as it were.
He will straighten. Bollocks. And we'll save everything they are currently feeling for their group therapy.
Yeah, we'll cut to the others then. Right, so you're mostly in one of the side rooms somewhere of the hotel, somewhere that's away from, anyone overhearing. You can, or whatever else you want to do. Because I mean, obviously you need to feed. You have things to discuss. You have things to do. So, what are Zana and Louise doing as E has gone out and murdered someone?
I think Louise would phone downstairs to inform, and be like, Mr. Faraki, we've been invited to a DJ gig of some sort.
Like, are they paying me? Or
No, it's just I don't know. It says something about an illegal rave. It says rude not to go underlined. It's in Fiona's notes, not in the letter, but it's like. So, you fancy a trip?
yeah, when? What's the
I
tonight?
assume it's tonight. Yes.
How big a scene do you want to make?
Oh, I never make a scene.
Yeah, but how big a scene do you want to make?
Oh. Oh well.
Those are different questions.
Yes, it was a different question. I'll have a few bits and pieces to tidy up here, just to tie over for the night. But then I should be ready to go. I'm already dressed, so
Where? How far out is it?
that's on the outskirts.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
it's going to take you less than half an hour to drive there. Maybe an hour,
What time?
maybe half an hour to 45 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to show up until after midnight, 10:30, 11.
Oh, is that the formality?
Yeah, 2
Yeah,
a.m.
you don't
arrival
want-
time for a rave.
Yeah, you don't want to be there early. Yeah.
Oh.
So we got some time. But that's okay. I can call Izzy and I can get some crew together. It'll be a good time.
I can't wait.
Cool. Sweet. All right, it's time to get bang back together.
I've already put the phone down. I
So,
think all I would do in that sort of time, I would be sort of marking, so obviously finishing off the paperwork and stuff like that, I'd be marking somebody that I would want to feed on later in the evening, so some sort of wealthy
Excellent.
businessman, because obviously the way I feed is obviously like letting myself into people's rooms and just feeding on them whilst they're sleeping.
excellent.
So I'll just pinpoint someone and be like, I'll be back for dinner at this.
Oh my god, it's like marking off
Yeah.
tick boxing on a menu.
It's like, ooh,
That's awesome.
dessert?
Oh,
Or
I
it's,
love
it's
it.
it's like planning your breakfast being brought to you in the
Oh,
morning, isn't it?
1,000%.
Going like,
It's
eggs,
almost like
toast.
I have my own little yeah. It's like, oh, do I want
annoying
do I want a bit
white
of fat?
The
old
The
businessman.
Korean family may make for a beautiful aperitif.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'll go for my favourite, which is the fat businessman. Perfect. Done. And then that's all I would be doing. I'm just like sort of minding shop, but obviously not doing anything. Just sort of that blank slate, almost like a screensaver, whilst watching.
Are you quite judgmental of people that come into the hotel then?
Oh, you know it, right? It's,
Have you met her character?
I'm
We've
s-
been playing for an hour and 16 minutes.
I am definitely sort of like, oh, good evening. Are you lost? You know, several times.
Is that your luggage?
yeah, exactly. I'm like,
I think
oh.
you'll find it's VSM, not VTM.
Oh, I think you want the Travelodge. They're just down the road. You know, that sort of, just having games with that and like having mostly British people over-explain themselves and just enjoy, almost like a bit like Colin the Vampire,
I'm-
enjoying the energy.
I'm
from
sure
that
you're
sort of
also quite snooty that because one of the hotels in Manchester is the renowned is the Hilton, which is at one point was the tallest
we-
building in Manchester.
We don't speak its name.
No.
Yeah,
The other thing that one's renowned for is I think it's a bar there called Sky Bar because the way the building is, it goes up and then it protrudes a little bit,
It's
so
out,
that you can
yeah.
look down. The floor is glass. It's for
So you
trash.
can look
though.
down at the peasants. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
Louise's favourite place to go feed, isn't it?
So
Anyone who goes there is fair game.
So before going to this rave, then this illegal rave at this apartment block, which is likely a slum anyway. What's Zana going to do then?
Yeah.
I mean, you need to
so-
feed as well, possibly.
I do. Yeah. And so Zana is going to call up Izzy. Izzy is one of his touchstones.
Okay,
Who
great.
is a person he regularly. She sort of arranges the after parties and otherwise is like a top tier hanger on for DJing, and so he's gonna call her up and say that he got a line on this thing going on and he's thinking that I'm gonna go there, and you should come too and bring your friends. And so I'm gonna get my herd and my follower group to all go with us. And so
Excellent.
while we go there, I'll have a crew of I don't know how many people you say show up, but I'll be able to feed from them as we're going.
Yeah, that's good.
And so yes,
You like to feed off people
Yeah.
you kind of trust. By which I mean, you know what you're eating.
yeah. Well, I'm a Osiren is my predator type, and
Yeah.
so I have to have fanboys and fans, and those are the ones that I feed off of in exchange for getting invites to these kinds of parties. So that's what's going on.
Okay, so you're basically therefore just taking the time to put out a few phone calls, or message them on well, on whatever form of social media or whatever you feel safe using.
Snapchat, yeah.
Yeah, Snapchat, because obviously you're mostly well into using any form of social media where the messages disappear afterwards, leave no
Yep.
trace. Some good encryption is mostly involved, um,
Yeah,
and
and I've really taken the care to make sure that I'm insulated. Like I bought the mask background so I can make sure that I have a public identity that will pass
yes,
a police inspection, that sort of thing. And so I use those pseudo legitimate accounts to handle all those kinds of communication.
excellent. So, with that, we'll skip back then to E. Um, how are you tidying things up at the shop? Are you just going to close it down for the night and then figure it out the next day?
No, E. This is probably E's first time that it's perhaps gone this bad, but this is not E's first rodeo. You know, they yeah. This is a bookstore that also has lit incense and stuff like that. And all he is going to do is make sure that there is an active trace of the oil that has clearly dripped down onto some of the books right next to the incense. And this place is quite literally a powder keg in that regard, because nothing goes up like paper. And if anyone investigates this, it will be incredibly hard to tell that that person was exsanguinated, because there'll be very little blood left because they will burn up. And E will be very liberal with the oil just onto the body.
As someone who used to frequent that bookshop, I'm very sad as a player that you've just burnt it up in heavens.
Yeah, right.
As someone who loves books, Ben and E are mortified, but they are not getting the shtick for this one.
Almost got acquired a free bookshop. That's all I'm saying.
Arson in the
no.
first hour of a game. Excellent.
I'm just saying, like, actually getting this bookshop would be a nightmare for E. Like, an absolute nightmare. Like, oh, no, this is not a good thing. Inheriting this bookshop would be a bad thing. Having murdered the owner and subsumed power is even worse.
Power through knowledge.
Right.
Before this place goes up, though, I will attempt to look around just to make sure that I'm not burning down any.
Oh, you're gonna actually take some valuable stuff
Forbidden
as well.
Planet is also gone
Yeah.
now, yeah.
Oh, that makes it much easier. He will just look next door at the Forbidden Planet and be like, I'm doing the world a service.
Okay. You lock up the shop. The shutters are down. You do everything you need to make it look like it was closed or closing up, and then the accident occurs. Obviously, covering your steps as well as you can, going out the back. It's not like you're leaving any footprints, or it's not like you're leaving any fingerprints, but you're going to have to be a bit careful of any blood stains, blood on your hands that do leave prints. So you might want to wipe down a few surfaces and then make sure they all get burnt up as well.
Does this have an employee area?
Well, there's the stock room, and then there's like a kitchenette area. Yeah.
Is there a spare sort of shirt or something like that?
No.
Then he'll wipe down with the owner's shirt. They'll just be going, honestly, you know that I would never do this because it is terrible and I'm very sorry, but I mean, what were you thinking with that anyway? I mean, and just I guess this is the Red Wedding.
You never got to the end.
Rob dies, it's all terrible. Honestly, I've saved you from it. But he will do their best to clean down and stuff like that. And may also look at they actually have chemistry as part of their their job and things like that. So they will look at maybe, from the employee kitchen, getting some of the bleach and stuff like that together and going around and absolutely destroying any trace of them, especially on the body as well.
Excellent. Okay. And what we will do is we will have our pause in this session as you leave the building, sparking up a match or whatever you've left to set the blaze, and as you depart out into the night of the city of Manchester with your new book collection in tow, with a belly full of vitae, having just fed. So we'll be back in 15 minutes time to allow us a bit of a breather, to make a coffee and that. So we'll see you back here then. And we're back with more vampire. So, as always, there is a content warning, and we are playing, of course, Vampire the Masquerade. Great. Okay, so
No
where we last
shots
left
were
it.
harmed in this session.
Yeah, no phone shots have been harmed in this session because that would be bad. Right, so yes, where we last left it was E had collected some books, in particular book that they were after, but unfortunately frenzied, had a messy critical, had visions that led to exsanguinating the owner of the bookshop, and has now left it to turn into a blazing inferno. And you are likely heading back to the hotel.
Yep.
Yep. Great. You get back to the hotel. You head via the back door, as it were. Head downstairs to the haven, and you can drop off the books, and I'm sure the others can inform you of what's going on and what you want to do.
Yeah, so when you get downstairs, Santa has the music playing a little too loud, a laptop screen going, and their phone going, and is like apparently organizing some bullshit. Hey, we're going to a party.
Okay, you're currently up here, and I need you all the way down here. I have already had a very trying night. Okay, just all the way down. What do you mean party?
Are you okay, man?
No. No, I'm not. So some asshole harangued me for being fabulous, and then I murdered the bookshop owner. Yeah.
That seems like an uncharacteristic escalation of things.
When I say it was completely and utterly unintentional, and that I now actively feel very sick. Yeah. That one sucked. So I'm just gonna make sure.
Is there a mess to clean up? Is there
Dealt with.
Cut to.
Pretty much.
The good news is I've done everyone a favour and burnt down the Forbidden Planet as well. So.
Yeah, nobody's gonna miss that.
Nope.
Upstairs, Louise has a small single tear, but she doesn't know why.
I just
Okay, well, maybe have a cup of tea, relax for a minute. We're gonna go to an illegal rave where we can do a bunch of drugs and eat people. You wanna come? It might cheer you up.
You know what? Fuck it. I've got a session to sort out, but then after that, sure. I might need an alibi. So are you okay providing that? Because right now my only other option is avoiding all of this. Because there are cameras that will have watched that street at some point and seen me go in there, is all I'm going to say.
I'll see what I can do.
Gorgeous. Thank you, darling. Okay, I am going to go get ready for
Shower.
a rave. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna check my character sheet and see what I can do about an alibi.
You can be my alibi.
I think that's all it is.
Yeah. We were here the entire night, except for that time when I went out and picked up a book, but I decided not to after I got harassed by X.
Yeah, and it definitely wasn't like a young lady witnessing it at all or anything like that, no.
Oh no.
Oh, whoops.
Well, you don't know yet. She may have
Thanks.
not seen
Thanks,
anything.
Louise. Thanks for reminding me.
I wasn't
Now
there, so...
I have to... Oh no. Louise has reminded me that I have to go kill a witness.
Damn it. You guys are gonna make it really hard for me to keep a high humanity.
Everyone needs an internal Louise, all right? And that is the little voice that tells you how to get away with murder.
It's just, but it's more every so often her face appears in front of you as a very disapproving. You forgot, didn't you? And then
Oh, and Xanadu? Do me a favor, darling. Yeah. E definitely calls you Xanadu when they're...
That's fantastic. I love it.
Just do me a favor, right, and let me tell Louise, because I honestly think that if I do not see my support group before I tell Louise, that I may snap. I cannot handle a Louise recrimination right now. And he just like walks into the bathroom, discarding their current fabulousness to go cry.
I can give you a short fix. Do you need a short fix?
Sure.
Like
yes.
not a proper fix, but a short. Okay, come here.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some breathing exercises. You'll be okay.
Okay.
Sit down. I remember you forget sometimes how to breathe, but we're gonna consciously breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, pretend your heart beats, and Chris, I'm going to enchant E.
Okay.
Or entrance E, sorry.
Entrance, yeah.
Yeah. So I will use entrancement on E, but the compulsion for it is going to be that they will be very calm and relaxed when I have finished this exercise.
So this is dominate?
This is presence.
Presence,
so with
right,
presence, I make them fascinated with something.
Right. Okay.
And
Good.
usually it's me, but it carries. I think it carries with it a compulsion.
Yeah. So it's charisma, presence versus composure, wits. The vampire needs to gain the subject's attention and win the contest. The effect lasts roughly 1 hour, plus 1 per point, plus 1 hour per point of margin of win. Vampire can renew this effect immediately after succeeding. The user adds dice pool to their presence rating for any social dice pool.
Oh wait, no, that's not going to do what I want it to do. That's the fall in love with me temporarily power. Never mind.
Yeah.
Can we just?
I never looked into your eyes so deeply before, but my God.
Yeah, never mind. I thought it was like mesmerism. My bad. I got my powers confused. So we'll have some breathing exercises, and then we'll calm down and sort of leave it at that. There'll be no sneaky powers right now.
You're sweet. You're very, very sweet. My sweet, sweet boy. I am going to go shower and burn this fantastic outfit. And then I am going to call my support group. And if... then I will allow myself 15 minutes to cry. And then I will come out and be fabulous again. And we can get on with our lives. Mm-hmm.
So we can assume that E does all that, and
yes.
In the next half an hour or so, 50 minutes, half an hour, you guys, get ready to head out for this party. Who's driving, by the way, just purely out of interest? Or are you walking there? Are you getting the bus? Are you getting the megabus?
Public transit? Like, I don't know.
I genuinely assumed we were taking the Met. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You're going to be doing public transport to get there. That's brilliant.
I figured that licenses would be too hard to maintain.
Yeah.
It's also Manchester. I don't know if any of us would have a car.
Who even drives in central Manchester anymore?
True. Okay, cool. That's good. That answers an important question. So you get on the tram. You get on the tram system. You have to change at one point onto another tram, and then to get the rest of the way, it's about another 10-minute walk through a pretty grotty bit of Manchester where there's like rundown mills, old Victorian mills or factories. There's the rumble of the trains that go by. on their elevated. What do I want to say? Elevated, not tracks, but the arches, bridges,
the arches.
viaducts.
Yeah.
And eventually get to this tall apartment block. It has a bit of grass around it, but again, there's just rubbish littered everywhere. There's bins overflowing. There's a few other apartment blocks that cluster together to form some sort of an estate. There are various vagrant, I say vagrant, I mean kids, not really kids or young adults, we can say, clearly up to no good, sat around in their sports gear or equivalent, trying to look intimidating, though I think the presence of the mix of what you look like is both tempting and also scary for them at the same time. And you head up to the apartment block where the main door of the apartment block is open. No one lives at this apartment block anymore. It's condemned. And outside of the front door is one of the members of the gang who essentially has invited you to come, because obviously you buy from them, you sell to them, maybe you are able to do some things for them which they've never been able to work out how you do it, but they sometimes turn to you for any support in their illegal activities that they get up to. They're a mixture of ethnicities of these people, of this gang, wearing variously, you can typically wearing a lot of dark clothing to look intimidating, baggy gold chains. Some of them have got a full metal grill going on,
amazing
tattoos galore. The music inside, as you're going through the front door, and you're told just to head up the stairs to about the 5th floor, and there's discarded crisp packets. The stairwell smells of piss. The paint is peeling from the wall. It's horrible. But as you ascend the stairwell, the thrumming of the bass from whatever music is being played, mostly grime music, is going on, and they've left out plugged into sockets because clearly the power's not been turned off, or they've brought some sort of batteries to run stuff. There are various kind of neon lights left around to kind of make it like a party, and it's you again, you have to prove as best you can who you are to the person that's on the door. I say on the door, but again, there's a group of ruffians, we can say, who are clearly there to keep the peace. And as you go in, there is this going to the you go down into the apartment, and it's actually a couple of the apartments, because the wall has been caved in between two of them, and there's a kitchen which is acting as a kitchen. There's another kitchen where clearly there are people cutting things and lining up lines of speed or whatever else they're taking. There are couches, the foam stuffing coming out of the where it's been worn away, just spilling out. The floor in places is sticky. You've been told where the toilets, that one I wouldn't go in because it's really kind of like smells of vomit in there, and it's stained. There is life, there is vibrancy, there are people dancing to the music. There's someone with some decks set up, playing various tunes and mixing it, and there are plumes and plumes of nauseating nicotine vapor as people are clearly smoking spliffs, which of course diffracts the multicolored light from all the party lights. It's great fun if you like this sort of thing. For you, of course, the things that stand out amongst all of these sensations is, of course, the smell of sweat, the smell, the sound of people's hearts thrumming away. Because sometimes your ears and eyes just slightly tune in as the beast at the back of your mind is kind of like going, tasty, like morsels, people to feed upon. But then obviously that tunes out, you're back to partying, and you're just literally listening to people talking shit half the time. They're on coke. They think they're the life of the party. They are talking one thing and then they're jumping to another conversation. There are people having screaming arguments at each other and then start sobbing going into one of the bedrooms. You're kind of like thinking, nah, you don't want to go in there. You know what's going on in there. It's not great. Yeah, it's a fucking hole. It's grotty, but it's perhaps the most raw sense of life that you get to experience every so often, because even if you're out at a nightclub or at anywhere else, these are places which, of course, people are trying to present themselves in perhaps the best way, in a managed way. This is the complete opposite. Everything's on show. Everyone's having fun. Well, trying to have fun.
Humanity at its most unfiltered.
Yep, that's for sure.
Sounds like the Line Club.
So, what do you want to do?
Louise knows that the best kind of parties, the cool kids, are always in the kitchen. However, if you've seen that picture of, is it the girl in the nightclub where someone's just shouting in her ear, she just wants to go home? That is Louise constantly right now. It's like, just waiting to see if anything comes up, if anyone and particularly needs to talk to them, her per se. But let's see.
Louise mostly is listening, obviously being told about who's the best musician, or they know some local up-and-coming rapper or something like that. And you're like, when was your character embraced? When was Louise embraced?
Oh, it's 1940s.
Yeah, right? So, some of this is just...
Louise was embraced before I was born, and yet I still have lower humanity than Louise. Yeah. That is the disturbing thing about our relationship.
If anything, I guess the what I would call it is that Louise has gone into screensaver mode whilst everyone's talking to her about what she calls noise. It's just dealing with that. Like,
Yep.
Great.
How about Zana then? Because Zana, this is your people.
Yeah, this is totally Zana's theme. Like, Zana is gonna activate awe first off.
Excellent.
So this is a place where everybody should know that Zana has walked in, and so I will activate awe, which makes everybody generally notice me and want to let me have my space. I don't know if there's a role for it.
There is. It's manipulation, presence versus composure, intelligence. Anyone aware that they're being affected can try and resist. So they're not going to resist because they're too drugged up. They're too drunk. They're partying too much. They don't care. They're not actively aware that you're trying to influence them in such a way. So you do it for free, and you add your presence to any skill roll involving persuasion or performance, as well as to any other charisma-related roles. So you're the life of the fucking party now. That you're there.
Doing it again.
So you don't want me to roll for it?
You don't need to roll anything. It just activates.
Okay.
I'm not expecting it.
No.
Yeah. So life of the party shows up, and it's just like, pay attention to me, damn it.
Oh yeah, you've got a throng of them listening to you, and
I've just got an image of Xana walking over to the DJ deck and going, "You're dying out there."
Yeah, exactly.
Just plugging in, and their group just moving the other DJ away for them. Like, you no longer exist.
So that's actually part 2 of the plan. So part 1 of the plan was to come in and be like, "Look at me, motherfucker, this is incredible." But I have to score before I can DJ. So Zana is gonna roll around the club and say hi to people and shake babies and kiss hands and check on his friends and all that shit. But I have to score. I'm trying to score Molly is the thing, and so I have the addiction on my character sheet that I have to be rolling, and so I'm going to try to score some drugs before I can do
I think
that.
I don't know whether you need to score some Molly. I think you need to pick out the person who's just
On
done
Molly.
some, and
Yeah.
then feed on them.
And then feed on them. Okay.
To be fair though, if you score some Molly, you can give it to someone and then feed on them.
So this is the thing.
Look what
I
I've
also
got.
have the eat food merit, so I can just do it myself. That's the trick.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's mostly more fun if you feed on someone that's
It's much
taken
more
it.
fun if I feed
Might
on
as
them.
well, you know.
Yeah. So yeah.
Whilst
So
we're here.
let's find somebody. Let's find suitable food.
Yeah.
It's like someone's left the cheese bags out. You gotta help yourself before you put it back in the fridge. Right?
So-
That's how it works.
I think you're basically looking to do a seduction plus charisma roll, aren't you?
Plus
Against the-
presence.
Seduction? What? Seduction's a skill?
Well,
Persuasion,
effectively a seduction type roll. So yeah, it'll be persuasion, yeah, or performance. You could use either one.
Plus
Plus your charisma.
charisma. Okay.
Plus your presence as well, because you're all.
Yeah.
All right. So that's 9 dice.
You just need to get the more successes. Just basically maybe means you'll score a more the more interesting and more
Comes up as a
notable
platter.
person.
So I have 4 successes. I think. I don't know. It's not telling me what not the actual numbers are, but you didn't give me a difficulty. So
Are you using Thirstbot on the Discord server? Or
no, I'm not.
Okay, so have you got any so there's no messy critical in there?
No, I have 4 onks and 3 black dots and 2 red dots. I should find a better roll.
That's fine. That's no, that's absolutely fine. Okay, good. Yeah, you can feed at your leisure. You can pick whoever you want.
Excellent.
You can tell us how it goes, what you do, as much as you feel comfortable explaining.
Yeah, so I called up Izzy before we came to the party, right? I was
Yeah.
gonna bring my touchstone, who is responsible for sort of organizing the cult-like following of fan folk that show up. And so between her and the herd and so forth, I have my safe crew of people, and then with turning on awe and bringing on hangers on, it basically comes down to I'm gonna trust my crew to identify somebody who's a safe victim.
Yeah.
And so like it's gonna be, let's go meet the DJ, and like Izzy brings somebody for me to meet, and we go have a conversation for a few minutes, during which time I'm very seductive or ingratiating, and I get to get my bite on, and then we come back to the party.
Yeah, I think you can happily say that you can safely take them to another one of the grotty apartments that's not being used for the party.
Perfect.
And away from prying eyes, you're able to discreetly feed upon them. Of course, the bite that you have, you're not like one of those clan of death, Hecata. You know, it's not going to be painful for them, except for the initial puncturing of teeth into flesh. But after that, it's they're on too many drugs and everything else. Like they're intoxicated. It's a
They're
euphoric.
on Molly.
It's a euphoric
Yeah,
experience.
they should be rolling is the trick.
So-
I need to feed my addiction.
So you
once I
get
that going,
you can slake 2 points of hunger, I think, without doing
Very nice.
detrimental harm to them. You know, I'm sure you're a nice enough person to walk them back to the party and leave them to slump a little tired out
I'm at
on the sofa.
7 humanity,
Yeah.
and so it's important to me that this be a willing thing.
Yes.
But I have awe, and I'm the DJ, and so people are lining up. That's the goal, and so it should be fairly willing.
Brilliant.
So I don't
Um,
lose my humanity for this.
brilliant. That's really good.
And then I will come back to the party and go up to the DJ and be like, "You suck at this. Let me help you."
As you are there, let's think. While you're in the kitchen area, Louise,
Yes.
someone that you barely recognise, who is called is called. I'm trying to think what my list. Sorry, because I do actually have a scene stuff prepared. His name is Cisco, and he is spelled with a C. In his mid-20s, are British Caribbean descent, because there was a lot of workers from the Caribbean came into the UK at that time, that Windrush generation. So he's likely, perhaps he's from that generation. Maybe the child of those workers that came in. But he's one of you. He's kindred. He's a member of another anarch coterie, and he's there clearly because he mostly has some interest in what's going on. He's got a big puffer jacket on, and he's got a lot of gold rings on. He looks the business for this area of town. Clearly, he is influential with the crime gangs, and mostly makes this area, or at least some of this area, his own hunting grounds. At least that's what you could perhaps assume. You don't see him often, except for when there are larger gatherings of the anarchs, because he really doesn't fit in with the type of kindred that make Hotel Gotham a location to feed or to party or whatever meetings. It's almost like he's clocked you, because he's likely can read that you are kindred, and as he approaches, he kind of like looks you up and down, and it's just like thinking, you should you be here? It's a school night, isn't it?
Sure.
The school night.
I was invited. I thought it'd be rude not to accept.
Ah, right, yeah. Oh, yeah, you guys, you're with Zana. Yeah. You work with you help deal for these bunch of goons, right?
Well, a bunch of goons seems a little bit
They're
prescriptive.
They're goons. Anyway, that's nice. Nice.
Sorry, can I help you, young man? Is there a reason why you're talking to me?
Young man. Ain't no young man.
Mate, let me lay it down for you. I could take you down in a second if I want to. But
Sure, honey, sure. Look, pipe down. I just want to make sure you're not up to any funny business here. I don't want you or any of your crew, breaking, the primary rule.
I feel I'm a bit insulted by that, my good sir. We're just here on account, invited. Once our business is concluded, we'll finish up and leave. I don't wish to, muddy your kitchen even more.
Look, if you want to feed, if you want to feed, get your kicks off. I can arrange it. We can make sure. I don't know. You could be a bit of a messy eater for all I know.
I've got dinner later. I've got dinner plans later. It's totally fine. But thank you for
Dinner
your
plans.
concern, young man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna say, you sort out rooms, don't you, at the Hotel Gotham, right? Real
What's
nice
that?
rooms, yeah? So, what would it take for me to be there when certain people are having their little self-help meetings?
Oh, I see.
You see, we've got to be a bit careful. Like, if you've clearly met Father Vaughan. He's the likes to think of himself as the high priest of a certain church.
Oh yes, I had a couple of waivers and stuff come through about that. Yes.
So I just want to be able to listen in on their meetings, get a bit of inside knowledge, inside trading knowledge on what they're up to.
What's it worth to you?
Well, I mean, I think we can say it's worth possibly something in the region of a good £1,000 worth of blow.
Oh,
I mean, you've got clientele to
sorry,
keep
I
happy.
don't deal with people who are wasting my time.
Well, you set your price then, and like I can get back to the boss, and we can like dog needs to know what's going on around these parts, and he's just keen to be kept abreast of business.
Oh, of course. Of
And
course,
you know, you're like me, we're businessmen, right? Business.
we are completely unalike, good sir. Sorry, if you're talking on behalf of your boss, I would like to speak to the organ grinder and not the monkey.
Ain't no monkey.
You're
Ain't no
wearing a puffer
fucking
jacket.
monkey. If anything, you're the fucking mouse here.
It's fucking amazing. Oh my god.
You know, fuck you. Fuck you,
Okay.
you haughty bitch. And if I catch you stepping out of line at this party, then I'm gonna nail you against the wall.
You can certainly try. Have a good evening, sir.
Business. Fuck your business. And he walks away.
The face, that sort of horrible fake customer service, like drops. And it's like, fucking destroy him if I have to.
Oh, excellent. What is E up to?
This is not E's scene. This is really not E's scene. Or it is, but not in this way. E deals with the after effects of this sort of scene normally. E is where the art is at raves. They'll be doing some graffiti and stuff like that. But yeah, this is they will have found their way to where the other artists are, because there are always some at a rave.
Oh yeah, there are some. There are people there with rattle cans, you know, spraying knobs onto a wall, and then you
knobs.
think like, give me that can, you fucking oaf, and
Yeah,
do something
yeah.
meaningful.
I just sort of like just move over. I have this very sort of glide image of how he moves. Just
Absolutely.
just a presence, a shark amongst fish, sort of thing, and just snatching rattle cans just out of hands one at a time, and then just being like, "You're done. Go on, fuck off." And
So, a good hour or so passes, and you know you're enjoying yourselves. You're making a few contacts. You know, they're saying like that some of them are obviously university students slumming it, looking forward to go clubbing at one of Zana's nights, because you know they want to listen to some good music, get wasted. Some have said like saying like, oh yeah, like talking about tattoos. Maybe you've had that conversation about how daddy'd be really really upset if they get a tattoo, and you know you're realizing like, okay, there might be enough opportunity to do a off the books tattoo sometime for one of them and make a lot of money from it. You know, depending upon what you want to do. But then there is a scream as a raver bursts into where the main party is, screaming that their friend Kim is dead.
moving straight away.
Okay. So you know, obviously
turn up the music.
there is a lot of the others there start moving to where she says she found her friend dead, apparently in the kitchen of one of the other apartments that's not being used for the party. The members of the gang who are like in charge of this party, running it and dealing drugs there, are looking rather threatening and telling everyone to back away. And you know, one of them is armed with some sort of firearm, while the other has got just a meaty baseball bat. And yeah, you approach. I guess you're going to have to kind of, if you want to get past them, you'll have to negotiate your way past.
Take off the coat that I'm wearing over the baseball bat. Go, darlings. You know who I am. Just don't. I'll handle what I can do. They might not be dead, and at this party, I'm probably the best bet of make sure that they don't stay in that situation if there's a chance. Right? Come on, just fuck off. Keep everyone else like if you
He's
need to.
patched me up a few times. Let him pass. Go on, you three go past. All right. Look, we're sorting it out. One her friend, a fucking idiot's already got. I'm gonna warn you. One of her friends already fucked off out to call an ambulance. So you better be bloody quick. Yeah.
I will go deal with that. It's fine.
Thanks, Louise. I'll do what I can. Fucking hell, ambulances. Fucking read.
Celebrity exit.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Like celebrity exit. Like
yeah.
somebody
Xanadu.
said they called the ambulance.
Xanadu. Just give us $5, darling. There'll be recordings of your set already. All right. People will know you're here. So just.
I'm gonna put on Temple of Love, which is a 6.5-minute song. You have that much time, and then we are out of here.
Agreed.
So you head into this apartment, and again, it's a dingy, grotty thing. There's barely any light in there. On the floor of the apartment of the kitchen is a young girl, typical clubber, out on a night to have some fun. However, there is something distinctly wrong with her neck. There are bite marks at her neck. But
amateurs.
There is also what looks like some dark kind of, you can see the veins, you can see all the arteries, all the blood vessels around it are darkening, and it doesn't look like it's bruised. It looks like it's rotting.
Poisoned. Okay. Intelligence occult? I heard of anything like this before.
You can roll intelligence and occult, yeah.
Is this blood sorcery?
Oh, there's no way for you, cat.
Well,
there's no
I
way
need
for
to
you.
know just so I can roll my additional dice, because if I do, it's 9 dice, not.
I don't think there's a way for you to know immediately whether it was blood sorcery, but you can roll anyway. Just don't use the blood sorcery die because it's hard to ascertain at this moment.
6 successes.
Okay. You have never ever read or heard anything like this. This is clearly there is something clearly wrong here. You've never heard of any blood sorcery ability, any form of magic that does this. It doesn't even match kind of the things that you've heard of where you can make the very blood in someone's veins boil. It doesn't even, you've heard legends of that, and that doesn't make sense. This looks distinctly icky and biological.
Medicine?
You can roll intelligence and medicine. You can get out a pen and start prodding at the wounds.
Well, for a start, is this person actually dead? Or
They're dead. They're dead.
Oh, they are just.
They're not moving. They're not breathing.
4 successes.
Okay. Are you going to prod the wound with a pen or some implement?
Yeah.
Okay.
He will get out probably some markers that they always have in their coat.
Yes. You
for
start
artists
prodding
that
at the puncture wounds, and as you do so, what blood or liquid that is there oozes out quite slow. It's very dark, and even to your dead nose, because your nose, you don't care about food, you don't care about flowers, even you can hardly smell those normally. You the only things that really fire your senses is blood and vitae. This smells like blood, but then actually turns your stomach. The very smell of it is making you retch.
Okay. Right. Fuck.
Do you have
Bollocks.
anything else you can use? Do you have any disciplines that you could perhaps use? Do you have specs? Do you have...
I do have all specs. I have sense the unseen, so I'm always doing that.
Okay.
Because that's always on.
Anything else that's useful?
I might be able to use some of my blood sorcery abilities here, actually. Let me just check.
Time is ticking, remember, so don't do anything that takes too long.
These aren't rituals. These are my actual blood sorcery. I think there's something about I have a taste for blood, which does something in this situation. I seem to remember.
If you want to really taste the blood,
I don't
You'd
want
have to actually taste it.
I don't want to, but I feel that might be the necessary thing here.
as this is going on, as you work out what you're going to do, I'll jump briefly to Louise. You are heading after someone that's clearly... You head down the stairwell. They've gone outside to get a clearer signal. And, there is one or two people actually on the phone calling 911.
Balls. Okay.
Or 999 in this case, sorry. 111 is if you want to call and it's not an immediate emergency. 999 is when it's really an emergency. And what's the one for? What's the one where you need to call NHS Direct and you need to just get some advice?
101.
101. There we go.
Oh. So they're all doing that. I'm like,
oh yeah, they're all calling 999 currently.
God. All right. So sorry, I'm just trying to find. Sorry, there's a horsefly in my room as well, so that's why I was also just like going randomly like that. Not that that's what Louise does. I was just looking at where is I just had it and then I moved it off the page. So I was going to go. There you go. So want to see where the girl who is the one that was sort of who's clearly is the friend or has gone out to get the thing. If I could spot her and work my way back from there, essentially. I'd like to. So I'll go up to her and sort of like I'll tap her on the shoulder, and so that she looks around, and sort of as soon as our eyes link, I'll dominate.
Okay. Because you want to find out what she knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Just trying to find where's it gone. It's
what you want dominate?
I've got it. I had it on the page and now it's disappeared.
I've got disciplines open here. Don't worry.
Oh, fab.
I can find it. Dominate, and you want to use.
So it's so I want to get that initial link, which I think is just through eye contact.
It's
and then
I think you want to use mesmerize, don't you?
Yes, ideally I'd like to use mesmerize.
So the vampire can issue a complex command to the victim as long as they have their gaze, and therefore the instructions must be carried out immediately. So that means they can also you can use them, compel them to talk to you.
Exactly.
It requires a manipulation plus dominate versus their intelligence and resolve, which is really going to be fucked right now because they're high as a kite. And it requires a rouse check, so you need to roll a d10.
Yep.
Oh, a hunger die, a d10. And if you fail on the roll, then your hunger increases by 1.
Alright, so I'll do that first, right?
Yeah, you do that first.
Okay. So
even if you fail that, you still get the power, don't worry.
Oh yeah, no, I just again brand new to this, so it's like okay,
it's a dead simple system. You're basically playing what is also quite equivalent to playing with d6s though, Wrath and Glory. It's kind of similar in that system.
Similar, yeah. So that's an 8 on that rouse check. So I assume
You're fine. You're fine. Your hunger is good. It's not increasing. And I roll for this person. Oh yeah, they're not going to really. I don't think they're going to be able to resist you.
Yeah, sorry. So sorry. What
manipulation plus dominate.
Manipulation. Sorry, I have it. Oh, it's up the top there. So 3 for manipulation, and then And then what? Dominate, sorry.
Yeah. So it'll be however many dots you've got in that.
So in manipulation, I have 3.
Yeah.
And then dominate, is that, which skill tree is that in? Sorry.
It's the actual
under your
discipline
discipline.
itself.
Oh, okay, so that's another 2. And then within that, I roll,
You therefore
within
you
that dice pool, I roll 3.
3 of your
hunger
dice are
dice?
red dice or hunger dice. Yes.
That's fine. Okay, so yeah. Okay, just make sure I've got that right. Okay, just make sure I've got that.
This could go interesting as well.
So just making sure I've got the
The question is
hunger
whether she asks nicely or asks violently.
dice. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 4 successes.
Okay.
I have 2. I have a matching 6. 1 is on a blood die.
Okay. So just go through the results. So
Yep.
So on your non-hunger dice, what results did you get?
On the non-hunger dice, I got a 3 and a 6.
Okay, so that's 1 success so far, and
Yep.
it's a regular success. And on your red dice, on your hunger dice, you got
7, 6, and 8.
an 8. Okay, because none of those are criticals, so that's fine. And remember, if you roll 2 criticals,
Yep.
so if you get 2 10s, that gives you double successes. So that actually counts as 4 successes. So,
Okay.
and if you get a critical, so you get 2 10s, but where at least one of the 10s is a red die, that's what causes our messy. So you've
Messy,
got a lot of successes there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can mesmerize, you can ask them whatever you want to get them to do. A simple command, which is what?
I think I just sort of taken and I was just like, who was your friend talking to? Who was the last person you saw your friend with?
Kim, she said she was with us partying, and then she said she needed to go use the loo and wanted to use a cleaner one, so she went off to one of the other apartments, and then, but she wasn't with anyone else. She was with me and my friends all here, like, and then she kind of blanks a bit and she like shakes her head and is like, sorry, yeah, the ambulance is coming now. They said it's going to take about like maybe 5-6 minutes to get here, maybe a bit longer. Is there anything you can do for her? It's like maybe like is she still alive? If you just come down from there?
We'll see what we can do for your friend. And as I sort of leave, I go, oh, forget, and do cloud memory, so she doesn't remember me meeting her.
Excellent. Okay, yeah, that's free roll is required against an unprepared mortal. Yeah, they're not really thinking straight, so yeah, they forget you even had this conversation and that you were talking to them. Don't even, and they just
realizing it
blank.
at the moment has passed. I was like, okay, I have to go tell the others we need to leave.
Obviously, as you're there, Zana has mostly also exited the building at the same time as you and has gone somewhere. Where's Zana going to go? Somewhere.
So
out
Zana's gonna like we're doing a. I have to look through my coterie because I don't want you guys to get caught by the cops, and so I'm kind of keeping an eye out for you in the raid or in the space. But I also said that we are leaving. We don't want to be here when the police show up. So, like, I'm going to be heading for, like, walking at a brisk pace with my crew towards the closest bus station. and just being like, we're just going to be random punkers in downtown Manchester. Like, what? Who knows what's going on? But if we're going to pass Louise on the way, can I, like stare daggers or something and be like, go, like,
and we
fine.
can cut back.
Beep E on the way, like, come on, you gotta know.
I'll go get them.
We can cut back to the apartment then. Yeah. So what are you going to do? You've got on the tip of this pen this thick, inky blood, or what
This
looks
is
like
just the worst fucking day. E is going to activate their blood of potency.
Right.
To boost this next roll. and basically, I have to roll Resolve plus Blood Sorcery versus a difficulty of 2 plus my Blood Potency, which is 5. Win increases their Blood Potency by 1 for the scene. Critical win increase 2. Exceed my generation limit during this scene. And that's
Okay.
1 rouse check, which is currently 0. So I'm just going to roll a d10.
Yep.
That's a 6. I'm
That's
fine.
Nice.
And then I am going to roll my Resolve plus Blood Sorcery, which is a total of 6.
Okay.
Because this is one of the things that E is very good at.
So you're gonna dab the blood onto the end of your tongue.
That's coming next. So
Interesting.
this is gonna increase my blood potency to 3,
Sure.
which will increase the number of bonus dice I get to this for using powers.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do this because a taste for blood. If I get a critical win, I get some absolutely wonderful information about what's happened here.
So you'll boost. So okay, if we get this right, you've roused to be able to boost your blood potency up. Above.
I've roused, rolled my Resolve plus Blood Sorcery. I've succeeded getting enough successes over the difficulty, which I needed 4.
Yeah.
Because that's my difficulty to raise my. Because I'm very potent with my blood. From all the diablerie. So I've succeeded, which means that my current blood potency is now 3.
Okay, and with that, you're wanting to, I guess, you want to be able to boost you want to boost your stats in order to then roll really well on the taste.
Yeah,
for blood.
so I can either blood surge or which will give me additional 3d10 for blood surging, but I also automatically get an additional d10 for using my powers simply because of my blood potency.
Blood potency, yeah, if we go off, yeah, it's add 3 because I'm just checking the updated table in that one.
Ah, good to know.
Table is updated in that one. So your blood potency is 3. So yeah, you blood surge for 3 dice. Yeah.
Yep. And again, automatically I have the power bonus of plus 1d10 anyway, just because of the actual power of my blood. So that's adding 4 dice to this, which makes it 10 dice.
Okay.
Actually, it's more than that, isn't it? Do any excess dice convert over to anything?
Not that I can tell. No.
Okay, sweet. Then I need to roll me 10 dice. That is 8 successes with a pair of criticals.
Okay, so it's a critical. That's the main thing. Yeah.
If anyone can identify what that is, I think they're criticals.
They're criticals. Yeah, that's a critical. Yeah, it's fine.
Nice.
Okay, good.
Which is
you
what
can
I
identify
needed.
whether the blood belongs to a mortal, ghoul, vampire, or supernatural creature. Okay, so let's go down the list of information that I can give you here. First of all, their blood is mortal, so that's obvious. Tasting of the blood or vitae, you can identify other traits. So you can identify the resonance. That's not going to be of importance. You can taste for relative blood potency. You can taste for diablerie, generation, but you can definitely taste that there is something wrong about the blood. There is something on a metaphysical level which the beast within you is feeling repulsed by. And so I'm going to do a few things. Right, so you need to make now a stamina roll.
Stamina.
Yeah. How long does blood surge last for? Does it last for everything you do in the scene, or is it just for that one roll? I can't remember off the top of my head.
So blood of potency can last for one scene or one night.
Okay, I was talking more about the actual blood surge.
Yeah.
No, off the top of my head right now. Blood surge, 218. I think it's just for the roll you do. I think. 218. There we go. Blood surge. Blood surge. Vampire called one blood temporary augments attributes, whether physical When a character wills a blood surge, player can add number of dice. Pull incorporating an attribute. The number of dice.
One scene.
It's one scene. So you've got it for the scene. Okay.
Yeah.
Blood surge only applies to a single roll of the dice.
Yeah.
Characters cannot use blood surge for willpower. So, hold on. Blood surge once per roll. Okay.
Blood surge only applies to a single roll of the dice, so I can't use it on this next roll.
Okay, good. Then you're just rolling stamina.
Yep. Pure stamina.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Don't fail.
I didn't. I got, I believe, just 2 regular successes.
That's
I don't
that's
know,
great. Okay.
Nice.
on 2 dice.
Huh?
The look of Ben continues.
So we'll keep track of that so far. You've got 2 successes because that's going to matter because it's not over yet. There is something distinctly wrong about it. The very tip of your tongue begins to feel a bit numb, and because of how your taste of blood kind of reacted, your hunger increases by 1 as you begin to vomit up vitae.
Oh god.
But
Good thing you had a snack before we came out.
well, if not, I would have lost it at this moment.
Yeah.
That would have been blood. Also, you can't keep doing to this to me, Chris. I can only take so much.
I'm sorry, but you tasted what looked like dirty
you went,
blood.
Let me check. What? Wow.
And as you kind of brace yourself, having vomited up blood right next to this person, this vitae next to them, you can hear outside the wail of ambulance sirens getting closer.
On the fact that I succeeded against this thing, can I have actually gotten to a window or something so I'm not vomiting this? Next to
Yeah, I
the
can let
actual
you vomit
corpse?
out the window. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because-
it's pretty grim what's happening. You know, you're bracing yourself. You are actually sweating. There is a sheen of vitae on your forehead from sweating as well.
Okay, please let Louise find me at this point, please.
Yeah,
I do.
I think
do,
Louise finds you in that apartment.
I literally do the thing. I see it happen. I go room service, and then to myself, and then I'm like, oh, it's quite serious. Mixie, we need to get out. You can hear.
Please get me out of here.
Yeah. Okay.
Get me out of here right now.
Okay. Let's go. And then I sort of hold my arm for you to take an arm.
Yeah, I will take Louise's hand and like pluck my coat from the bouncer as I'm going and just like cover myself up and like dab at my forehead very self-consciously.
Let's go.
And
Spit spot, etc.
as you exit the apartment, you know the wail of emergency services getting closer and closer. I'm sure Zana will join you as you look to make a exit and away from everyone. As you
More like Xana is at a safe distance and being like, over here.
as you turn round, about to leave the estate,
Yeah.
stood there is Cisco watching you. Where the fuck do you think you're going?
Oh, we're gonna get blamed for this. I just know it.
Look,
Fuck.
It's time.
Oh.
I've already messaged Dog what's going on. That girl in there didn't die because
No,
of an overdose.
She was murdered and
She
badly.
was fucking bitten.
Yeah, she was murdered and badly, but not by one of us, by someone fucked up on something bad.
Right.
Fuck off.
You're gonna come with me now. We're gonna
No,
go
I'm-
find. We're gonna go find Dog. We're gonna talk about this because
Nope.
this is a breach that needs to be sorted. And if anyone's gonna sort it or make sure it's sorted, it's him. Because
This is a you problem. This isn't an
This
us
is
problem.
your territory.
oh no, this
We were-
is your problem now. Because you were on.
Nope.
You were there. You've seen it as well, and you deal drugs with this gang as well.
Gentle
I'm
folks.
I'm
Gentle
sorry.
folks. Let's calm down. Look, why don't we meet somewhere more neutral and just take a moment and discuss it properly? person to person. I'm sure it's fine. We can sort it. We will happily
Look,
looking at
Dog's
E and
waiting
Zana.
nearby. It's only a short walk to where he is. We can...
I'm not going to any secondary location with you right now, Sunshine.
Well, we need to.
Fuck off.
The ambulances will be here soon, E. So.
I'm with you
Yeah.
on this. No, let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm going home. I'm going home. And if Dog wants to make an issue of that, they can come and fucking find me. Alright? But I'm going home. This isn't my problem. This is your problem. You've got shit in your territory, mate. Sort it out. And I'm actually going to begin. So E's eyes just be, rather than the actual like irises of it going red, E's eyes go red entirely. Go home or I will fucking starve you, son. Fuck off.
Okay, cool. Hey.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry, didn't mean to.
Yeah, Cisco is going to get up in your face and is going to
bitch.
also
No.
use dominate on you.
That's fine. He can try. That's not going to go well for him. I'm going to need him to make a stamina composure roll though.
For what?
Because he's getting up in my face, I'm going to hit him with extinguished veto. I'm starving him.
So stamina plus composure.
Stamina composure. Yeah, versus my intelligence plus blood sorcery.
Okay, what's your intelligence? Oh, just roll that then.
I sort of look at Zana and go, I had dinner plans. I'll have to cancel them now."
So you look at Zana. Zana's eyes are not human eyes. They've slit down the center.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Okay,
and he's, like,
it's really funny.
really
We've
close
rolled
to
exactly the
hitting
same
ball.
result, like literally exactly the same result there.
Oh no.
So you got a critical with 5 successes.
Well, no, because you have to have two criticals for it to be a critical. A 10 on its own is not enough. It has to be 2 10s. So, but I've got
Okay,
exactly
that's
the
what
same
happens.
results though. I've got a 10 in there and the rest are successes. So I've got 5 successes and you've got 5 successes.
Okay, let's have a look at page 273 and see what happens.
I think it's just angry vampires almost hissing at each other
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, because it's
It's on hunger. It's not going to do too much right now. It's literally,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so in that case, then he's going to come in with the actually, hold on, they're more, yeah, with the dominate then.
Bring it on.
So what was Zana's eyes doing again, Ian? Like these sort of like almost
Slitting?
split.
Yeah.
Snake
so,
eyes.
I have eyes of the serpent,
Oh.
and
Nice.
so if I can make eye contact with this fool, he can't look away until I decide to let him. And so it's a great thing to do when you've got somebody who's really into hurting him standing next to him, because it means he can't do anything until he is done with him, because I can just keep eye contact. So
Ben, roll your intelligence and resolve.
You picked the wrong stats.
I need to roll rouse check for this guy. That's okay.
That is 6 successes, no
Really?
critical.
Okay. Yeah,
I've got 7 dice for this.
You win
This
on
is my
that. So
intelligence.
he tries to command you that you're going to fucking follow me.
Fuck off, you jump top, puff top wearing wanker. I'm going home. I owe you fuck all. We are equal rank. You've got fuck all on me, boyo. And I'm currently the only cunt that's got any information on what was on there. I've got power, you've got none. Piss off. And I just walk.
Okay.
I wish I'd taken Dread Gaze now. That would be fantastic. I'll buy that next time.
I sort of go into my little handbag that I've been carrying with me this whole time, and I pull out a card for Hotel Gotham and just be like, you know where to find us.
Yeah, I'm sure Dog will be round there later.
I'm sure. We look forward to welcoming him to stay. And turn and walk after E.
He just lets you go, realizing that you're not.
There's three of
wanting-
us.
Yeah, not wanting to.
Oh yeah, but we're bringing shit to our house, lads. That's what's happening
Yeah,
here.
It's okay because you can't bring any ghouls into our house.
Oh, wonderful.
You can still throw grenades across the threshold.
Touche.
My bloody hotel. Anyway,
Wards are great until they start bringing machine guns.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, having left the scene, where are you heading now? What's your plans?
Home. I want to go home.
Wait, we'll go. Zana, are we expecting anyone else? Anyone else coming around tonight? Any appointments for you, E? Any more of your friends coming around, Zana? It's just us.
I'm
It's
golden.
just us, but we might want to camp out across the street and see who decides to show up at our place, instead of actually going there ourselves. Because it sounded like Dog and his goons were gonna show up. So
Getting some reverb from your mic there, Ian.
It's
Oh, yeah,
mostly
that's
just
a bit
the
low.
noise cancelling. I won't worry too. It's not
Yeah.
too bad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
sorry about that. I got the music playing, so I apologize.
Yeah,
for this.
it'll be the noise cancellation. Anyway, yeah. So you're gonna head back to the hotel.
Yeah, I think I was going to say, well, there should be somebody on desk to greet them. I'm happy to do that. Maybe get a boardroom
Right.
upstairs.
you
That was wrong.
walk then back.
Yeah.
And grab the tram when you can. It's not too late in the night because the party's kind of ended early. Yeah.
So E, do you tell us about what you saw so that we're all sort of on board?
Whoever was drinking from that girl, it's something I've never seen before. That was fucked up. Like, the beast was repelled in a way I've never felt before, like, ever, in any regard. That was hideous. It made me sick. I mean, I touched that much. Alright? I touched that much to see if I could find some stuff out. And it made me, I'm not feeling great. I want to get home because I feel terrible.
Well.
And like it's getting worse. I don't know what that is, but if that's a sickness that's affecting Kindred, we've got to be careful. Whoever fed on her is sick. Alright? I'm not talking just like this. I'm talking about something affecting them. Something bad. Something really bad.
Apart from Mr. Cisco, was there anyone else that I clocked at the party as kindred as well? Chris?
There were some others there, but
But no one that stood out
no.
as. Okay, interesting.
And I didn't catch anything on or around her with Eyes of the Unseen, did I?
no, there's no sense of anyone using anything that you would class as being a power of the Vito, which would count as like obfuscate, something where you being unseen. There was nothing
Yeah.
which, and you've seen some with those abilities. You've been to some weird places in your time as well. Like there are
Yeah.
certain places where restless spirits also are still found, and you didn't see anything like
Yeah.
that.
There was no sorcery, no powers, no spirit, nothing. This is something new that I've not come across, and there is, and this is not ego. There's not much that I don't know about the occult in the world, and there's nothing I don't know about blood sorcery, and I don't know what this is.
Could you all make a wits plus composure roll?
Oh dear. It's not actually that bad. 5.
Okay.
Sorry, stupid question. Do I add blood dice into this as well?
You always use your hunger
Always.
dice in it. Yeah.
Cool. Just wanted
There's
to
only a
double
few
check.
things you don't use hunger dice for, which is like humanity rolls and so forth.
2 successes.
3 successes for myself.
Okay.
Oh, so wits. Sorry. I
Wit,
did hear this.
wits plus composure.
I thought so.
That's basically a
Yeah.
perception roll. Always. Whenever if I was to say, if I actually ever say perception, it's wits plus composure, because that's how it's done in this. Because it inherited from Chronicles of Darkness, which got rid of the perception stat.
Cool. All right. Alright, so that's 2 1s, 2 6s, and then 3 7s on the blood dice.
Oh wow, then
So
you're
4?
okay. 4. Okay.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
you
Sorry,
as
I
you
had to
get
go
off
for
the
it like
tram, as you awake to get on the tram, and you're on one of the elevated platforms there.
Yes.
A tram you can see just across on the other side of the tracks. There's what looks like a young man dressed in drab, kind of normal towny type clothes, and with him is looks like a Doberman. And for a minute, for a brief moment, there's from the lights of the tram as it's going by, as it's approaching. Both the animal and the person's eyes glint red. And as the tram then stops, it's on the other side. This tram stops in front of them, and then as it goes away, they're gone, and you can't see whether they got on the tram or walked off. At which point the tram arrives for you to get on, so you can head back into town.
What do you think, Zana? What should be our plan?
Okay, so out of character, I kind of want to spook the spooks. Like, I have obfuscate, and so as the tram is shooting past and obscuring the vision, I kind of just want to and hide and wait to see if I can see where they go.
Sure. You can like
well,
basically step into the. You can step out of the main
Do it.
light of the lamps and discreetly disappear. Well, are you using? You're just wanting to not.
Well, so this is the thing. Like Luis looks over to me and says, "What do you think?" And so, like, I'm trying to.
It was just more making sure that you had a chance to talk. All I would be doing was
okay.
getting E home. Essentially, that would be my plan. So if you just said I'll meet you there or something like that, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah, I'll
let
you
you,
there.
because
Let's
we
do
I
that.
assume we've done all this sort of thing before. We know each other's tales and stuff. But my
Yeah.
goal currently would be to get E home because that's where they want to go. So
Yeah,
if you're
so
like, I'll
you
be
take
back.
me on the train. I'm gonna fade back.
Yep.
I'll use Cloak of Shadows, which is only what I have. So as long as they're obscured and that I don't move, they can't see me. And so as the train is going past, I'll take that opportunity to step back a little bit and cloak myself.
Yeah.
And then I want to see if I can see where, like, my friends will get on the train and go, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch
we'll
for a
keep
little
going.
bit and see what else happens.
So yeah, the tram takes off with E and Louise on board, and you're basically still stood on the platform,
Yeah.
in the shadow where the street lights don't hit, and
And I also have Eyes of the Beast,
Yeah.
so I can
see in the dark.
leave
and
the red
everything.
eye. I
Yeah.
can see in the dark and all that. So, yeah.
You can't see that person or that dog. Nothing.
Okay.
It's actually really quiet. There isn't many people walking by because it's getting late at night. And then the next tram arrives for you to hop on if you want to hop on it.
I'm gonna give it 2. So
Okay.
they got on 1, it goes. The next one comes and goes. I'll get on the third.
Sure.
one.
Sure.
Right. You all arrive then eventually back at the hotel, and
Okay.
and this is where we're gonna be able to wrap up a bit. As Zana arrives at the hotel at the front entrance, there is Cisco getting out of a car, and the only way I'm going to describe this person is like they're think kind of Phil Mitchell from EastEnders type of guy.
Yeah.
So that means,
Got it.
unfortunately for Ian's case, this is again, he's wearing a black leather jacket. He's a bit barrel-chested, a bit red in the face,
Skinhead.
bit of a skinhead, but with a bit
okay.
of a tightly cut goatee, which is blonde-haired. He's got blue eyes, and yeah, he's also got an Irish accent, which I'm not going to attempt.
Hooray.
He walks over, and he's like, Zana, you only just got back, have you, from the party?
It's a good time.
Yeah. I need to chat to you.
Do I know you?
We've bumped into each other at some meetings. We've asked you sometimes to provide the after party entertainment.
I mean, if you're looking to score concert tickets, I can hook you up. But
I'm not here for fucking concert tickets, you nonce.
I'm just a DJ, man. What?
Look, I've got more important things to talk about. You were at that party, and there was that girl. What was her name? Kim something, right? Well, right now.
There were a lot of girls. It was a long.
Yeah,
party.
well, there's something particularly wrong with her, and I've heard something, and I need you and the others to deal with it. Mainly because, unfortunately, word has got through to the arbitrator and her lackeys, and they want to lay the blame on whoever was there. And it seems like they're blaming you, or at least they're blaming you and the school teacher and the weirdo with the tattoos.
Wait, you're telling me this is your fucking party?
Yeah.
How is this our problem?
Because you were present at it, and you're the ones that were most recognisable there.
So we're half a dozen other licks. Why is this our...
Because someone wants to pin the blame on someone, and it just so happens to be you guys. Don't blame me. I'm just telling you what I've learned from the... Look, this isn't a conversation to have here on the fucking street. Shall we just go in and like see wherever you guys do your business or whatever you want to talk about? Shall we just...
Sure, if you want to get a conference room and be all prim and proper about it.
We don't need a fucking conference room. We're not expecting to like call up
The
someone in
doors open
Chicago.
at this point, and Louisa says, "Gentlemen, could we please continue inside? I've set up."
Right, someone with some fucking sense. Shall we go in and
Oh
talk
my
about
god,
this?
you prat. Fine, go inside. I need a drink.
So, there's clearly
Is he
a
okay?
office
Is he
somewhere.
okay?
Sorry?
E is fine. They're just taking a moment to compose themselves. But I've asked them to come join us in the room when they're ready.
You will be also... Dog will also be followed by Cisco and a couple of others of his heavies.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
You have to leave your +1s outside.
For the sake of Miss Whitaker here, they can wait in the lobby. After all, this is a fine establishment that we've used for meetings in the past. I don't want to insult her or her boss.
You're a boss?
Be discreet about it. Oh no, we've talked about this. Yes. Somebody clearly didn't read the backstory. Okay.
Right, shall we
I'm just playing up the Anarch thing. I'm like, we're all our own people, right?
Some more than others. Shall we?
True.
Please.
God.
I've laid on some catering.
All right.
laid on some catering? Interesting.
Well, yeah. But obviously it's like midnight, like the late breakfast sort of thing. So it's like pastries, which no one's gonna bloody touch.
No,
but
right?
it's like I've made the effort of doing. Yeah, Zana can have some, but no, it's like, you know, it's like the stuff that obviously nobody can eat. But I've made. The
Dog
effort.
is actually
More
quite
important.
intrigued by the fact there is like a tiered platter of like, you know,
Oh yes.
of
Yes,
pastries
afternoon tea.
and tea, and is like perplexed by it, but also, you know, also kind of impressed at the same time.
Yes.
So yeah, you're
At
in
3
some,
a.m. as well.
you're in some like basic kind of like, I guess, side office.
Yes.
No one else is frequenting it. Simple plastic chairs, you know, that type of thing. And he takes a seat. Right. How do I spell this out to you? Not all of the kindred present at that party are anarchs, are like us, who have a sense of, I guess, I don't know, doing each other a fucking favour. Some there are members of high society, as we like to fucking call it, the camarilla. So word has already got back to the arbitrator and to her, what they're calling a lictor, some sort of, I don't know, paid assassin, right? That you were there because they recognised this fucking idiot, pointing at Zana. I know. Anyway, word is that this isn't just a simple dead fucking girl in some fucking morgue anymore. Word is, apparently, that she died of some infection. Now, I can't get any more information on it just yet, but I think it would be good if someone, and I think it should be you, so you can clear your fucking names, because I'm not out to do you favours. I'm trying to keep the heat off you right now.
Of course.
Because that lictor is a prick. And if it would look bad for me if he was able, or if they were able, I don't know, if they were able to just, dust you, like stake you, like decapitate, final death, whatever, it would look bad to me and the council if they were able to do that willy-nilly. That would be a sign of fucking weakness. So you can understand that my hands right now are pretty much filled with a lot of bullshit. So I think it would be good for your sake to sort it out while I keep the heat off you. Is that acceptable?
Don't want a war.
No, we don't. We don't want a fucking... Well, no, actually, Rob, I want a war on my terms, right?
Yeah, but they're too weak right now here. They don't want a war.
No. You think the thing is, weakness is about
Perception
of weakness. And right now we
Yeah.
need to appear strong. So I need it to appear like we can sort out our own shit.
All right.
Is that acceptable? Now, I'm not saying this will not be rewarded. Like, I am certain that there is certain events, certain clientele, money, whatever, that can be funneled into this fine establishment or other services rendered to you. But
I'm a big fan of favors paid years in the future when you really don't want to.
yeah, right, exactly.
What do they call those? Booms?
No, yeah, they call them booms. I actually just call it like, fucking accountancy. But they're all la-di-da about it. Anyway, the point is, just get it fucking done, all right? And I will try and keep this bastard off you for as long as I can, because
Dog.
trust me, they will finish you, and they have their rules and everything to support them doing that. And if it's as bad as I think things could get, there are other members within our collective, within the general anarch society that we have here, who will be accepting of that because they're doing the good work, as it were.
But they've not got us on a breach. Even recognising Xana at a party, there were half a dozen other kind there. They've not got us on a breach.
Regardless, a young woman has died unnecessarily. I do think we owe favours to make sure if that happens to one person, it doesn't happen again and again and again.
Trust me, there are other licks who are there who will certainly like to, I don't know, sell you out if it does them a favour in return. And I'm sure there are some of them that are looking at this fucking hotel going, that'd be nice, I want some of that action.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Dog, thank you so much for your concern. We will keep this in
Mr. Dog. It's Mr. Dalgleish, remember. Dog is just what everyone calls me, but...
Oh, I know, Mr. Dog.
Dog. Whatever this is, whoever did this, they're sick in a way that I don't understand.
What the fuck do you mean by sick?
Whatever did this left something inside that girl. And you know what I'm good for. So I know what I'm talking about when I say this person
you've
is
patched up enough of my boys when
this
we've
person
had
is
it.
sick in a way, I don't. This is a kindred that is sick. All right, that's the first.
That's fucking messed up. How the fuck?
It's not possible. Everything I know tells me this is not possible. So I need to. If Cisco is your person on the ground on this, I need him to find out every kind that was at that party.
Yeah, okay. We'll get names. We'll figure out who's been where. I will try and get some information. Right.
That includes the Camarilla. We need to know who was there from then. Because if they've recognized us, this could be them trying something dark. Alright? This isn't just someone breaching Masquerade. This is something bad. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna start looking when I get downstairs. But this isn't.
Why did you have to say
bad.
It's an infection?
Why does that matter? What do you know?
Because I thought it was a one-off. I've heard there's another body in that has been picked up recently with apparently bite wounds and suffering from some sort of like necrosis.
Where?
Well, I think that was a couple of days ago, and I wrote it off as just weird shit happens, right?
A couple of days.
Yeah.
If this is the same person, they're feeding
Right.
to death. Fast.
And the thing is, if it can be passed on and gets into the population, that would be pretty bad. Right, well, I think if I was you, I'd go find out where the fucking body is right now. And
was the other victim also a seen person?
Hard to say, but if it looks like an infection like that, I would imagine that they will have brought.
No, you said you heard a story about another person who was a victim.
Yeah. Well,
was that victim also a club kid?
I don't know if they're. I know there's just a victim of this. But I don't know where they frequent.
Just heard of the,
Do I look like I keep
sickness.
tabs on where they go? Like what time they go to the loo?
Gentle folk, I would ask you, because it is quiet hours, to lower your voices in my establishment.
I would suggest you possibly, I don't know, maybe. Why don't you go check out where the fuck the bodies are kept on ice and have a look at what the doctors and A&E or whatever have written up, because and you're pretty, let's be honest, you're pretty with it on this type of shit. So you might be able to work out what's going on if you can look at some records or whatever.
Yeah. Have you got an in there at all? Any connections to the hospital? Anyone? Do we know someone who works there? We've got a ghoul on the ground that we can go to.
That doesn't matter. I can walk us through wherever we need to go.
Fucking hell. You got some balls on you. I like it. So, yeah.
Humans.
Do you need... What I can do for you is Cisco can be your ride for the night, right? And anywhere you need to go, he can take you there. The car's yours. I can get.
I'm
taxi.
sure Cisco does not look happy about this.
No, he does not look happy.
And I deliberately look at him and smile like it will be an absolute delight.
So, school run to the hospital, eh? That'll be fun. Anyway, he'll keep me appraised of what's going on.
Of course.
Oh, also, the one thing Cisco did grab before the ambulance got in, passes over, and it's the girl's purse that has all her ID in and her phone. He grabbed that before the body got taken out.
Sort of scoot.
So if
that
it's
all over
useful
to
or not
Zana.
is up to you. Anyway.
I scoot it over to Zana, who will probably be able to, or at least know someone to go through the social media and see if there's any connections.
If you don't mind, I'm going to go deal with some pricks who call themselves the Camarilla, whatever that fucking means in this city. Sorry for the bad news, but
they would all benefit from twice weekly deliveries of mail order bribes.
yeah, right, exactly.
Like, just
I don't want to be responsible for sending that prick money or food. I'm just saying, let's just send them dog shit.
And on that note, we're going to leave it on that bombshell. We'll leave it there for this session. Right. Okay. I don't want to dish out experience points too quickly because also Vampire's a bit weird on that. So we'll make sure everyone can get definitely 2. I think I'm happy with everyone gets 2. That's enough. For now. We'll see how quickly it allows us to get, you to upgrade things, and if I feel you have to dish out anything else. That was cool. I think we've learned a lot of all the characters. We did some basic dice rolls. We didn't have to do too many. I hope it's freaking weird. Like you're a bit like, what the fuck's going on?
I will say that me, Louise being in that party is me at every single party I've ever been to. So that wasn't role play. That was just me going
shit. Excellent. So we will be back in 2 weeks' time. That should be the plan. We're at the same time with more of this scenario. If you want to follow along with the scenario, and in other words, know what's going to happen, kind of, but then see where we mostly go off script. You can download it on the Dark Days Radio website. You can follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram at Dark Days Radio, Facebook. There's recently a new episode gone out that Mike recorded, which is a secret frequency on the Denisovians, which were a ancient prehistory species of hominid. So much like Neanderthal man, and so getting into the idea of like how often now scientists are kind of like describing that time period of all these different hominids being around as kind of like a Lord of the Rings time, because you've got so many proto-human species out there, also into breeding and stuff. It's quite interesting, and so Mike relates it to like a few games like Earth Dawn and Mage the Awakening and so forth. So there's a lot of cool stuff there that might provide some inspiration for your games. Obviously, buy Children of the Blood, because I wrote for that. That's for Vampire the Masquerade. Also, what other fun stuff is out or coming out? Obviously, go listen to previous episodes of the stream where we've got Iron Kingdoms or Wrath and Glory. Please check out Fiona's podcast, DM's Book Club. There's lots of cool stuff on there. And there's some stuff coming out soon, I believe. There's something that we recorded months and months ago, which is going to be hilarious.
January.
Shit, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we've got Chris Rand for What Am I Rolling, which is another podcast I do, a Warhammer roleplay fantasy roleplay game, which was incredibly fun to listen back and edit. So
it was a one-shot, and it's quite surprising what happened in it, I feel. Anyway, that's it. So thank you for playing, thank you for watching. You can find everything on YouTube, so it'll be there afterwards anyway. So goodbye for now, and we will
sleep.